Hello, I'm back again. People asked me to update my registration videos, so I'm here to help you guys out. To register to HCC for classes, the very first thing you have to do is go to the HCC website, which is hccfl.edu. Once you go to this page, this will load. We're going to go ahead and click on My HCC. Once we click on My HCC, it's going to have you log in with your HCC email and password. Your email is going to end with hawkmail.hccfl.edu. And then you put in your password, you authenticate yourself either through the authenticator or through a text message, and then it will load your dashboard, which will look like this. I'm already logged into the computer, so it doesn't really work for me that way, but that's how it would normally work for you at home. Once you're here, you're going to go ahead and click on your name and then profile and address updates. Every semester, we have to approve our address before registering for classes. So just make sure the address is still good. If it needs to be updated, you can update it here. And then once you hit confirm, that step's done and you're done with that process. Next, it's going over to admissions and registrations and register in HawkGPS. Now, we register for classes in HawkGPS. You can also search for classes in HawkGPS. That's not the way I prefer to do it, but you can do it that way if you want to. But I'm going to show you the other way that I prefer. So once you're here, you're going to scroll over to the term your semester you're going to register for. And we're going to start over from scratch. Sometimes your advisors will put classes here for you to register for. Sometimes they don't. Mine happened to write down on a piece of paper for me today. So we're going to go from there. All right. So like I said, you can search for classes in HawkGPS by looking up like VSC here, 2085. But I just find this to be a little cumbersome and not the way I like to do it. So the way I like to register for classes is just go back to the screen. Is just to go back to the HCC website, hccfl.edu. Under menu, then scroll all the way down. All right. And this is the one that I like. It's just for me more user friendly. And also, if you have a hold on your account, this is a way you can look for classes to put them on student forms, which I will try to remember to do at the very end of this video, just so you can scroll, like fast forward there if you want to, if I remember. If I don't remember, put it in the comments. I'll try to do it. All right. So the very first class I'm going to look for is going to be my English class. So we're going to put ENC 1101 here. Click on the course. I want to take my class here at Dumb Mabry. And then you can see all the different options. I want to take this one online. So I'm in person. So I'm going to search for more options on campus. And I only want to see things that are open. I don't really want to see classes that aren't available to me anymore. And then here, you can go ahead and toggle here and add things. If you want, you can add the room number. I don't really care about the room number. I just want to know how many seats are available, times, locations, and the instructor and the campus. So this is all kind of stays on there. Okay, so now I can look at the different classes. I think I want to take my classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays more. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit by Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I want to take my classes in the morning. And that will bring it down to a more reasonable number of classes. I don't want to get up that early because I'm not an early person and I know I'm not going to make it. So I'm just going to pick with this 11 and 12:15 class. Now here's where the magic comes in. We're going to want to write down this section number right here. This section number holds all this information in this little number. So we're going to go and write down the number 06104. I'm going to go ahead and write down that's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 11 to 12:15. That way I know what time that class is. And when I move to the next class, I'll be okay. The next class I'm going to look for is going to be my math class. So you can go over here. We're going to do math, MAT 1033. Click the course. Back at John Mabry. I want to take this one on campus in the mornings, open. Sometimes I put afternoons too, because sometimes the mornings only go to 11. And sometimes I want a little afternoon class. So I'm put mornings and afternoons. I can also do evenings if I want to, but I'm not looking for that right now. All right, so that class was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Let's try to see if we can keep two classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, so that class was 11 to 12:15, so anything before 12:15. So if I do this 9, 10, 15 class, I'll have a gap. Don't really want that. So let's look for a 12:30 class or a 12:20 class. 0. So that's just 12:30 to 2:20 class. The other class gets at 12:15, and that'll give me 15 minutes to get where I need to go. So once again, we're going to write down this magic section number 06637, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12:30 to 2. All right. So now let's go ahead and look for my anatomy and physiology class. Now, some of the sciences come with labs. If they come with labs, they have to be done. Labs and classes have to be taken to the same classes. I'm sorry, same campus, same semester. So we're just going to go ahead and put both of them on here at one time. That'll make our life a little bit easier. And just know if you do this, you're gonna have to scroll all the way to the top, and it's right there. That hides it from you. I'm gonna go ahead and take this class maybe at Down Mabry. Tuesdays and Thursdays when I come to school because I work Monday. I have off Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Let's see. The other class ends at 2:20. I'm not seeing anything that's gonna work for me. So let's go ahead and add Fridays and let's just take away the campus and see what there is. All right, let's see. Looks like they have some Brandon campus on Fridays. So let's just go ahead and just skip to Brandon to make my life a little bit easier. And then one more important thing to mention about class and labs. Usually when you pick the class, especially if they're not at Del Mabry, it's going to tell you the exact lab you have to take. So this class 05412 goes with 05445. So if you look down here, 04555 will go with 0412. So these two are married and they have to be taken together. So sometimes when you're picking one class, you're picking both classes. If it doesn't have a section number, then you can pick any other class that doesn't have a section number. But let's go ahead and write both of these down. It's going to be 05412, and that's Fridays 8 to 10:30, and then 05455, 11 to 1:30. All right, cool. Next class I'm supposed to look for is CGS, which is a computer class. So CGS 2100. We're going to go back to Del Mabry, and I want my class on campus open. But this class doesn't come on campus. It only comes hybrid, which means it's one day a week. So let's try 9:30 to 10:45 on Mondays and Wednesdays just to see if that works for my schedule. I'm not 100% told on this one yet, but I'm going to write down anyways just in case. This is going to be 05601. Mondays and Wednesdays, 9:30 to 10:45. My other option I could take if I didn't want to take CGS this semester is the SLS class, which I'll probably take online. So let me show you how that looks like too. So SLS, Del Mabry, take online with no class meetings. And then once again, always click the open ones. That way you don't have to find classes that aren't available. And then let's see, this may make a difference which one we pick. We'll just pick this one right here. All right. So this was going to be completely online. It doesn't have any time meetings. It just take it completely online. So 07353. All right. So now that I have all of my section numbers, here's where the magic comes back in. You're going to go ahead and click on your HawkGPS. You're going to add a course. But this time, since you've done all of the time searching, all you have to put is section numbers. So we're going to put the first section number in 05412. It found the course. And you click select. Then you hit back here. Make sure it says that it's all classes. 04545. It finds the class. Click on it. Hit select. And as you can see, it's kind of building my schedule over here. If I forget to hit back and you add the section, it's going to tell you the class doesn't exist. The class does exist. It's just that it's looking for this section and this in the lab. It doesn't exist. You hit back, it'll find it again, and you go ahead and add it. So the class doesn't show up. That's usually what's going on there. So always make sure it says add to fall when adding the section number. Oh, 104. All right. English, add, go back. 06637. Find the class, add it, go back. And then the last one is going to be 07353. Cool. And then select that one. All right. And then from here, you're going to hit Save Changes. And that's going to load everything to your HawkGPS so you can register for it. Then you can go ahead and look at your schedule and see what you think. now that I'm looking more at it, I don't want to come just Mondays for this class, and I can't take off Monday like any other time for work right now. So I'm gonna get rid of this class and just take the SLS class online. And because this class is online, it doesn't show up here because there are no meeting times. So we're just gonna go ahead and delete this class, and I'll take it next semester. No big deal. And then when I'm ready, like my schedule, I can mark them all changed to register. And they all have to be marked to register in order to register for the courses. Otherwise, they'll just kind of stay in your plan. You'll never actually register for them. Then we're going to go ahead and hit register. That's going to give us a bunch of errors and information that we just already know, but just if you didn't know and did things on accident, you'll have a chance to look at stuff. So let's go ahead and let this do its thing. And then when we get done doing this, I'll go and show you how to do the student forms if that's what you need as well. But this is how I found that looking for classes a little bit easier for me. You can always just HawkGPS if you want to. This is just saying that if I take more classes, I could fit it done faster, but I don't want to take more classes. So I'm fine. I talked to my advisor. It's what I want to do. This will always show up. You're fine. Ignore and continue. All right, and then these are the error messages. They don't leave errors. This one's just kind of warning me that I'm taking classes at different campuses. I know I'm taking classes at Brandon. That's perfectly fine. This one's saying I'm taking the same classes that are online, like the SLS class. We already knew that, so that's not a surprise. And this one's saying because I'm on a what if plan. So since I haven't declared my major yet, over here it says not declared really, really faintly, and it says what if over here. That's what that says. Once you have a declared plan, that one will go away. So don't worry about that one either. Just hit the little two buttons and hit register. Now this will take a few minutes to get you registered for classes. And then once it loads, it should also prompt you for payment. If you're paying for classes, make sure you check the calendar, but make sure you pay for the payment due date. If you don't pay by the payment due date, then they'll kick you out of your classes for non-payment. And if it's after the payment due date, more importantly, you have to register and pay the same day. So here I am now registered for all my classes. So I'm good to go there. And then over here, they'll switch from to registered to registered. And if I need to pay, I can just click here. But I'm not paying at the moment. And right here it says registered. Once they all have registered, I know that I'm registered for classes and I'm good to go. All right. And then the not declared plan, like if I knew I wanted to do engineering, I can go over here, reset to the declared plan. And then yes. And I always put that today's date here just so I have like, some kind of like history of what I've been doing. And then once this does its magic thing, the what if thing will go away. But while that's doing its magic thing, that doesn't really matter, let me show you how to use student forums if you have to use student forums. So now I'm back to being architecture and no longer the engineering pathway because I really want to be an architect and not an engineer. But that's whatever. So if it says what if, you just have to hit declare plan over here. Don't worry about it. All right. So to register with student forums, you have to go back to my HCC. Click here. It's going to look like this. You're going to scroll down and click admissions and registration. And then student forums, which is a little bit further down. So I click student forums. And then it will load. And then we're going to do course selection adjustment. Okay. And then here is how you use this form. The same thing, you have to have the section numbers. You already have the section numbers because we already searched for them. We're registering for the fall term action. We're going to add a class and we're going to just put those section numbers just like we did for the other one. So 04, 05, 412, 2. Come on, there it goes. I found that class. I want to add another class and you just keep adding the classes you want to take here. Cool. And you just keep adding and adding and adding and adding like we want to all the classes you want to add. And then if you have an email from your teacher or something or transcripts, this is where you attach stuff. But at this point, I'm not attaching anything. I click here, it signs my name, and then I hit submit. And then that will go to whoever it needs to go to so they can go ahead and put me in the classes. And then I just have to keep checking my class schedule to see if I'm in the classes. So you can either look at HawkGPS, see if it's registered, or you can keep going to academic records and my class schedule and just keep loading this page until you see the class loaded. Once the classes are loaded, you know you're in the classes. Submitting a form does not mean that you're in the classes. You're putting a request for someone to add you to the class. But that's basically about it. Go ahead and leave any comments if you have questions below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.